Hey, what's up everybody? This is Suspenseful93, and as you see, this is my top 5 most disappointing movies of 2014. Now, this isn't a review about the worst movies of 2014, because there are definitely some really bad movies that aren't on this list. But that's because I didn't see them. I can only review movies that I see. I can't mention ones that I haven't seen. Here are some honorable mentions for this list. Nonstop. I didn't think this movie was very good because it was a little bit slow to start, and in the beginning when he was in the airport, you could point out, that guy looks a little bit bad. I don't trust him. I think he's going to be bad later. And he was. Liam Neeson was good in it. It wasn't bad, so I was a little bit disappointed by it. My second honorable mention for this list, A Million Ways to Die in the West. I was expecting another Ted. They showed a lot of the funnier parts in the trailer. It was pretty funny, but it wasn't like Ted. It didn't live up to those expectations. Most disappointing comedy of the year. Number 5 on the list, Lucy. What really bothered me about this movie was the ending. The ending was really sloppy and it was very, very unbelievable. Spoiler alert. She turns herself into a flash drive of knowledge at the end of the movie. That just seemed really, really stupid. Lucy brought this cop along to the end that didn't really need to be there. I mean, her brain got to like 80% and he's still along there, just shooting people, but she's over here just lifting people up with her brain and killing them. And he even said in the movie, he was like, I don't even know why you need me anymore because you can do all this, but I'm just a guy with a gun. And another something that really bothered me about this movie was the beginning. They edited some National Geographic footage of tigers killing their prey. I understand the analogy. It just seemed very out of place and it took me out of the movie completely. I was like, what are they doing? Number 4 on the list, Sex Tape. I saw this fairly recently and I didn't really have much interest in seeing it. It looked okay, but I saw it and it wasn't that funny. I laughed maybe 4 or 5 times. And the most funniest part was when it showed Cameron Diaz and Jason Segel watching their own sex tape, their reactions. That was the funniest part. Everything else in between was just really stupid. And that is why it's on number 4. Number 3. Number 3 is Noah. My friend suggested that I go buy the DVD, and I bought it for about $13, and I wish I could take it back. I'm probably not going to watch it ever again. The performances in this movie were good. It was very weird having rock soldiers as fallen angels. That seemed very sci-fi and it didn't really make sense at all. And then you have Russell Crowe about to kill his daughter because he thinks that God wants him to. I'm not one of these religious people that didn't like it because it wasn't accurate to the Bible. I just didn't like it because I didn't think it was a good movie. They probably could have cut 20 minutes out of this movie and it would have been a little bit better. Number 2. Here we go. This is a movie that I didn't have high expectations for, but I got into it, and then towards the middle and then the end, it just went downhill from there. And that was Transcendence. It's an interesting idea, and they had me at the beginning, but then it started getting really crazy when he started repairing people's arms and, body parts and stuff that were damaged. He started repairing them, repairing their tissue. That just seemed a little bit too much. With all this living matter, complicated debate on whether humans should upload their brain to a computer. The cast of this movie is very good, but it wasn't executed very well, and that's where it made its mistake. Number 1, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I had such high expectations for this movie after Catching Fire. This movie was just extremely disappointing to me. The only reason why I gave it a 6.5 is because I believe, from what I've heard from my friends, they tell me that the next part is going to be crazy. Tons of action throughout. Because it's part 1 out of part 2. What's missing in this movie is the other half. That's why it seemed very incomplete and very isolated by itself. And that's what's wrong with the movie. Alright guys, well that was my top 5 most disappointing movies of the year. I hope you enjoyed it. Next should be my most favorite movies of the year. So if you haven't already, click and subscribe. My name is Suspenseful93, and I'll see you at the movies.